Son of a bitch, Nico said, looking into the garage. I wish Sonny were with us. Cork rolled down his window and motioned for Vinny and Angelo to get on the running board. Let me talk, he said to them, once they were on the truck. He had started the pickup and pulled it into the garage. Two of Luca's boys closed the warehouse door as Cork got out and joined Vinny and Angelo. Nico came around the truck and stood beside them. The garage was brightly lit by a line of hanging lamps that cast a bright glare onto an oil-stained, cracked concrete floor. There were piles of crates and boxes here and there, but for the most part the place was empty. The gurgling sound of water running through pipes came from someplace above them. At the back, through a garage, through a partition with a door next to a large window, appeared to be an office space. Light bounced off white Venetian blinds in the window. Luca Brasi went to the back of the truck while his men closed in around him. He dropped his tailgate, threw back the tarp, and found Steve Dwyer, wedged in between liquor crates and pointing his Tommy gun at him. Luca didn't flinch, but his men all went for their guns. Cork yelled, "For Christ's sake, Stevie, put that thing down!" "Hell," Stevie said, "there's no room to put it down back here." Hooks Battaglia shouted, "Well, point it at the ground, you fucking moron!" Stevie hesitated a second, a smirk on his lips, and then pointed the muzzle at his feet. "Get off the truck," Luca said. Stevie jumped from the bed of the truck, still grinning and holding the chopper, and a heartbeat after his feet hit the ground, Luca grabbed his shirt, and with one meaty paw, yanked the gun away from the chopper from his right hand to his left, and tossed it to Jojo, and threw a quick straight punch that landed Stevie in Cork's arms. Stevie's head wobbled as he tried to pull himself to his feet, but his legs went out from under him and Cork wound up catching him again. Luca and his gang were quiet watching all this. Cork handed Stevie to Nico, who had come up behind him with the rest of the boys. To Luca he said, "I thought we had an agreement. Are we in for trouble now?" "You're not in for trouble," Luca said, "as long as you don't have any more half-wit micks pointing guns at me." "He wasn't thinking is all," Cork said. "He didn't mean no trouble." From behind him, Stevie yelled, "That fucking Dago knocked one of my teeth loose." Cork leaned over Stevie. He said softly, but loud enough to be heard by everyone, "Shut the fuck up, or I'll plug you myself." Stevie's lip was split, and already swollen fat and ugly. His chin was smeared with blood, and the collar of his shirt was blood-stained. "I don't doubt you would," he said to Cork in this tone. There was an unstated and unmistakable meaning. They were both Irish, and he was going against his own. "Fuck you," Cork whispered. "Just shut up and let us get our business done." Cork turned around to find Lucia watching him intently. He said, "We want 3,000. It's all Canadian whiskey, the best." Luca looked at the truck and said, "I'll give you 1,000. Cork said, "That's not a fair price, Mr. Brasi." Can the Mr. Brasi crap, will you? Huh, kid? We're doing business. I'm Luca, you're Bobby, right? "That's right," Cork said. "You got that good-looking sister, Eileen. She runs a bakery over at 11th. Cork nodded. "See," Luca said, This is the first time 2 words have passed between us. But I know all about you. You know why?" Luca said. "Because my guys know all about you. Hooks and the others, they vouched for you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing business. You understand?" "Sure," Cork said. Luca asked, "What do you know about me, Bobby?" Cork studied Luca's eyes, trying to read him. He came up blank. "Not a lot," he said. "I don't know much about you at all." Luca looked at his men, who laughed. He leaned against the bed of the truck. "See," Luca said, "that's because that's the way I like things. I know all about you. You don't know nothing about me." Cork said, "A grand is still not a fair price." "No, it's not," Luca said. "Probably 2,500 is fair. But the problem is you stole this liquor from Gillespie Mariposa." "You knew that?" Cork said. "I told Hooks and Jojo the whole story." "You did," Luca said. He crossed his arms over his chest. He seemed to be enjoying himself. "And Jojo and the boys have done business with you on 2 other occasions when you helped yourself to some of Mariposa's liquor. I don't have any problem with that. I don't like Gillespie." He looked at his gang. "I do like most people. Well, I don't, actually. I don't like most people," he said, and his boys all looked amused. "But now," Lucas said, "word has come around to me that Gillespie is particularly angry about all this. He wants to know who's jacking his whiskey. He wants their balls on a platter." Cork said, "The guys told me if we dealt with you, you'd keep our names out of it. That was the deal." "I understand," Lucas said, "and I keep my word, but I'm going to have to deal with Mariposa. Eventually. He knows I'm the one buying his liquor, so eventually I'm going to have to deal with him. And for that, I need to make a larger profit." When Cork didn't say anything right away, Luca added, "And I'm the one taking the bigger risks." Stevie shouted, What about the risk we took? We're the ones getting shot at. Without looking at Stevie, Cork said, I told you to shut up. Luca offered Cork a generous smile, as if he understood the difficulties of dealing with goons. I'm stuck with the business, then, he said to Cork, which is no fun and with the real trouble starts. He pointed at the pickup. I'll tell you what, though. What did you boys plan on doing with the truck? Cork said, we got a buyer lined up. How much are you giving you for it? Luca walked around the truck. Looking it over, it was a late model. The wood of the stake bed still held its polish. Don't know yet. When he completed the circle around the truck, Luca stood in front of Stevie Dwyer. Not a bullet hole in it, he said. I guess all these goons shooting at you must have been lousy shots. Stevie looked away. Luca said to Cork, I'll give you $1,500 for it. With the grand for the liquor, that's the $2,500 that you were looking for. We were looking for $3,000, Cork said, for the liquor alone. All right, then, Luca said. $3,000. He put his hand on Cork's shoulder. You drive a hard bargain. Cork looked back at his boys and then turned to Luca. $3,000 it is, then, he said. Got to be done with it. Luca pointed at Vinnie Vaccarelli. Give them their money, he said, and he put his arm around Cork and led him right back to the office. To the others, he said, Mr. Corcoran will be right back with you. I want to have a word with him. Cork said to Nico, you guys wait up the block for me. Luca went into the office first and then closed the door behind Cork. The room was carpeted and furnished with a rosewood desk cluttered with papers. 2 big stuffed chairs faced the desk from opposite corners, and half a dozen straight-back chairs were lined up against the walls, which were concrete and unadorned. There were no windows. Luca pointed to the stuffed chairs and told Cork to have a seat. He went around the desk, came back with a box of Medalist cigars, and offered one to Cork. Cork said thanks and put the cigar in his shirt pocket. Listen, he pulled up a chair in front of Cork. I don't give a rat's ass about you or your boys. I just want you to know a few things first, he said. The guy you're stealing from, when he finds out who you are, he's going to kill the whole lot of you. That's why we're working with you, Cork said. As long as you keep us out of it, he won't find out. Luca said, how do you know someone won't recognize you? Nobody knows us. Last year we were all in school. Luca was silent for a long moment, watching Cork. You're smart, he said, but you're thick-headed. And I'm not your mother. I gave you the straight dope. You keep doing this, you're going to wind up dead. Me? I don't like Mariposa. I'm not scared of him. You want to keep robbing him? I'll keep working with you. From now on, though, you're the only one I'll talk to. Don't let me see any of those other mugs again, especially the crumb with the chopper. We have an understanding? Sure, Cork said. He stood and offered Luca his hand. Luca opened the door for him. I'll give you another piece of advice, Corcoran. Get rid of the sneakers. It ain't professional. Okay, Cork said. We'll do that. Luca pointed to the side door. Leave it open a little, he said, and then disappeared back into the office.